impact to our entire forecast as well, and the heavy rain continues. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and we'll see if we've got any hail that has popped up for us here this morning. And taking a look, yeah, we're not seeing any with this active storm right now. The hail tracker that we had here was for storms that happened earlier on tonight within the last couple of hours. So no hail with this, but we definitely are working our way into a system where we could potentially be seeing some shear picking up, which means that we have the possibility of some rotation. Right now, right over Gordonsburg, zooming in here to street level. So Columbia Highway, if you're by Cathy's Creek Road, we'll look up to the north, Old Swan Road, Salem Road. If these are some roadways that you're used to taking here, or it just rings a bell for you if you live out here in Murray County, that is where we're talking about the rotation being, and you need to be in your safe spots. A safe spot going to be any interior room that has no windows and as many walls as you can to the outside, that is on the lowest floor of where you live. We're talking about, again, this warning that's coming down here after we had about an hour worth of a break. We're right back into coverage for this. And this is just south of the Centerville area and then just north and west of the Columbia area. Just for reference, we'll zoom out a little bit more just for markers here again of setting the stage. If you're waking up with us in Thompson Station in Franklin, you have been tornado warned a few times this morning. Nashville, Davidson County has been tornado warned twice so far this morning, and you can see what we mean by these things are training on each other. They're tracking almost like train tracks, just making it a direct line all the way up here, and they've not really moved in consistency when it comes where they've been firing off here over the last 6 hours. So we get storm break, and what they do is they feed on each other's energy. The big thing to note is that you've been through this already so far tonight, so hopefully you've already found where your safe spot is. Hopefully you're still good from the previous storms that we did have, but the wind is the big thing we're watching out for. And we want to look at the radar as far as lightning returns. A lot of lightning and a lot of rain. We have not really gotten towards sunrise yet. We're just getting there. So anything that were to potentially be on the ground in these areas, you're not going to see it. Not that I want you looking for it, but I mean no one will see it no matter what we're trying to find because of how our visibility has been so far this morning. And this now is our first warning in about an hour. Let's turn the lightning back off so it's not as cluttered on the radar for us here, and just take a look at the last 5 minutes. We'll see how the last radar skip did for us here. Did it make everything look a little bit more broad, or did it really tighten up the rotation? We're kind of in the exact same spot. You see, we don't see much movement other than just where it's placed on the map. That tells us that we've not seen an increase in rotation or a decrease in rotation. And as of right now, still nothing coming in from the Weather Service, which is sometimes good news and sometimes just means we're watching and there's just really no update, which is kind of where we're at right now. So taking a look, this is what we've been going through the better part of the overnight. We started at 9 o'clock last night. We didn't come off the air continuously until about an hour ago, and now we're right back into it. And this is nearly identical. There's that switch again, and now it does look a little bit more well-defined with green and red getting closer. What we don't want to see is one of these colors really flipping around the other side. That's when you get that really good defined potential for rotation. We also don't want to see this turning into a lighter color. Lime greens or almost pinkish watermelon color reds. That indicates really tight and really strong wind that could be rotating. So Sandy Grove, Johnson's Mill, Santa Fe, again, in the next 20 minutes, this comes toward you. If you're in Swan Bluff, and Gordonsburg, you are in your safe spot. If you're off toward the west, even as close as Hohenwald, you're in the all clear. Everywhere to the left side of the screen, even if you're still in this red box, so Kimmins, Hohenwald, you're okay now. This has moved away from where you are. Sometimes in warnings, they'll cut off the back end of it eventually, but for us right now, since it's so fresh, this is what we're looking at, and it's only through 7 o'clock. This spun up very quickly. In about 15 minutes, went from no rotation to enough to cause some concern. Could this continue past 7 o'clock? Well, a lot of our storms so far this morning, that really has been the case. So a lot of us have just been watching this very carefully, and it has definitely been one of those mornings where a lot of these storms have looked very similar. They fire up like this, they get warned for a good 45 minutes to an hour, and no confirmation with this one, anything observed on the ground just yet. Justin?
You know, Greg, I did want to point out very quickly that a lot of these tornadoes, warnings at least, have followed this exact same track that you're following here right now. Almost, and Katie Morgan, our chief meteorologist, when she was here a few hours ago, was pointing out the fact that it seems like they're almost on a train track where they are following the exact same course, something in the atmosphere forcing these storms to follow right out of Linden towards Hohenwald, Centerville, then into Williamson, then to Rutherford County, and then back out through the bottom.
And let's talk about Davidson County as well, because we have in Davidson County proper been through several tornado warnings throughout the course of the morning, and we know there is damage already reported in Davidson County. So if we can, while we keep up the radar, perhaps we can check in. Our reporter Johnny Maffey just got to the scene in Antioch off Old Tusculum Road. We were getting reports earlier this morning of a tree into a house on Old Tusculum Road in the Antioch area, so that's south of Nashville. And Johnny Maffey just got there. He's working to establish a shot for us. And folks, we are getting word that the damage to this house is unbelievable. So we're monitoring that. We'll tap into that live just as soon as we get it. In the meantime, one of several traffic issues as a result of the overnight and morning storms. This is a live look, I-24 at Thompson Lane.
Yeah, 24 Thompson, very close to Briley Parkway down there in that area. We are dealing with, again, flooding. Lots of ponding out there on the roads that are shutting down lanes. It's not just happening here on 24. It's also happening on I-40 on the east side, also happening on I-440 on the south side. We have seen it over and over again where a lot of this rain is shutting down several of our interstates. And then, of course, we have the big closure over on the east side, I-40, or excuse me, west side, I-40. You make that drive in from Kingston Springs, from Pegram, from Dixon, a crash where an 18-wheeler has ran off the road, overturned right near McCrory Lane. So big closure in that area that's going to cost you some additional time.
So we have a tornado warning in effect right now. In case you were just now waking up and joining us, it is 6:48. We have had dozens of tornado warnings all night and all morning. This latest one south and west of Nashville. Let's check in with Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Greg, where we see that red area and the green area coming together on our map, that's the portion of concern here. Who needs to be finding their safe spot right now?
We're taking a look here at the exact spot where we're watching where it is at and taking a look at the green and red meeting right around the Swan Bluff area, Gordonsburg area. This is just to the north and east of Hohenwald. We take this just south and west of Santa Fe. I would say if you're in Santa Fe, this is the third time you're getting into your safe spot again. This warning may not continue past 7 o'clock, but it has been issued until then. And this looks to be relatively decently broad rotation to the point to where we take it very seriously when we start to see those two colors matching up together. And they've done the exact same thing in almost the exact same area because of how the air mass is just to the north and the south. Justin mentioned it being like train tracks where all these storms just kind of chug along it. That's how this has been working out. What I'm going to do right now, before we get the next radar scan to give us that update if this looks like it's strengthening or weakening, I'm going to zoom out and show you the last 8 hours and how everything really has fed off of everything that developed before it. Let's take a look and zoom it out. We'll show you the regular radar that you're used to with all the warnings on here and clear off that track. I'm going to take you back 8 hours in time and watch how these storms begin to develop and then almost stay in a straight line. Now that line does move more toward the east before midnight, but after about 2 a.m. it gets stuck where it's at. Taking a look at all these warnings following each other throughout the overnight. So even though the storm system moves a little bit, you can kind of almost tell where the next warning is going to be based upon where the previous warning was before it. Look specifically right here when I show you that again. This is our area of concern. Again, we're talking about a tornado warning until 7 o'clock, portions of Lewis County, and then also we're talking about a portion of Murray County, just like we did a few hours ago here. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go back 8 hours and look how many tornado warnings started in this exact same area. So we have 1, we have another one here, this is 2, we have 3, we have 4, we had 5, 6, 7 tornado warnings that have gone through this exact same area here in the last 12 hours. So this is an area of concern for us later. We have to watch carefully to see if any damage reports come out of this area as well. We're going to get rid of our little circle here and put another track on this and really zoom in to some of our hometowns here. We've got Kettle Mills, we've got Chapel Hill, Chartersville, Johnson's Mill, Little Lot, Prim Springs, out toward Hilltown, Bethel, right along the areas where we are seeing this possibility of some rotation that is there. I'm treating this as though it is on the ground. I would like for you to always do so as well. Whenever we get a hold of any information that has the words tornado and warning to it, you've got to find your safe spot and make sure that you are preparing and knowing where to go before these types of storms get to you. Unfortunately, this is the 6th or 7th tornado warning that has gone through this exact same portion of Middle Tennessee tonight, and one of those storms was radar observed of rotation that was making its way to the ground. One was a considerable tornado that was on the ground here around 1 o'clock in the morning. Not this exact same area, but a relatively close geography to it. There's that next radar update. You can see that we've not seen things change too much, which is pretty good. it would be great if we could just get rid of the rotation altogether, but when it doesn't get a little bit tighter, we don't see those colors get brighter, it means that this weather maker is just kind of moving. It is subtly spinning, but it could be spinning well up in the atmosphere and not a ton down at ground level. And this is also in a tough spot for us to track very easily because it's far away from two different radars. There's a radar in Memphis, there's a radar near Nashville just to the east of it. The farther away you go, the higher that radar beam goes over or into a system, which means sometimes you might catch rotation well up in the atmosphere as opposed to down at ground level, and that's why a lot of these warnings get posted here or get issued, is just because we're seeing signs of rotation. It's that confirmation of how close to ground level it might be making its way. And taking a look here, we've got one good thing though that just happened for us here. We've canceled a severe thunderstorm warning for Rutherford County, Davidson County, and Williamson County. So again, any little good news we can get here this morning, we're going to take. Let's take a look at where that just was for us here. We'll zoom it back out, and you can see, yep, the Davidson County area, Rutherford County has since seen everything clear. So now we've got this gap area right here where we're going to watch what happens when our severe thunderstorm warning moves away. That's off to the top left-hand side of your screen, and our tornado warning moves into this direction. What is going to happen when it meets this air here coming past Thompson Station that has been worked over with many storms so far? Do the ingredients keep bubbling up with that gap period that it has to kind of refuel that air of no rain that's there on the radar for us? That's one area that we'll be watching very carefully. As far as this warning goes, it's just going to continue to go for us here until 7. We have no indications of it being extended, which is good, but we also typically don't get word about that until a few minutes before we hit it. But hopefully, we can just say all is good and we're back away from enough rotation for a tornado warning at 7 o'clock. But until then, if you're in Swan Bluff, Maple Spring, Chartersville, I need you in your safe spots. I really want to stress this. I know we've had a few warnings that have gone off. You might have heard sirens a few times depending upon where you live. Your phones may have gone off. I know here, us at the station, we're just north of Nashville and Metro Center, and our phones were going off in real time when our Davidson County warnings were going, and that is a very triggering thing at night. It's not meant to scare you, it's meant to tell you got to go find that place of where you're going to be in shelter and just keep it safe. Zooming in even more, a few of our roadways here that might be roads, you know, up Leapers Creek Road, Snow Creek Road, Turkey Creek Road, and then we'll go with Williamsport Pike. So keep that in mind. These are some of our roads here that could continue to see the possibility of rotation very close to them. I need you guys to make sure we're taking cover and do not leave until I give you the all clear. If you're in Hohenwald, you are in the all clear. Everyone else in this polygon, I want you to stay right where you're at. There are still signs of rotation here. You can see where that little red dot is, and they're continuing to move through. I want to go back and look at the last 15 minutes with you guys, and we'll see how that rotation has really transpired here. And it looked to be much more significant even about 15 minutes ago. It is still there, but it's not quite as well defined as it was. You can see the green colors getting a lot duller, and so are the red colors, which means we might not be working through that much more we have to do in terms of everything else. Now we're seeing this here, tornado warning will continue for a portion of Murray County, Williamson County, and Hickman County, set to end here in just a couple of minutes, so it looks like they might actually end up expiring this for us here just past 7 o'clock. So we're going to keep riding with this here until that red box goes away. This is just a sign of things that have already happened, and a sign of things that could come. We're still under a tornado watch through 8 o'clock. It's for a good portion of the viewing area, and we'll show you that here coming up here once we get out of this warning. That means that until we see favorable conditions in the atmosphere to finally turn this stuff off, more of these storms can continue to fire, and they'll continue, unfortunately, to pop up in areas that have already been worked through when it comes to thunderstorms and tornadoes. We're also going to be finding areas that have damage this morning. We're going to be looking at a bunch of areas that have seen flooding. We have put down immense amounts of rain in a very short amount of time over the course of the last 12 hours. Some 3 to 4 inches of rain in our northwestern counties, and now the areas that have seen all of these tornado warnings have put some 2 to 3 inches worth of rainfall down. On top of that, thankfully, we've had a lot of schools that have decided to close up for the day. They've just said, you know what, we're not going. It's not safe to get in, whether it's the flooding concern or the tornado concern or just the fact that, you know, it's just not a good day to get out and about in general. And that list you can find on fox17.com. Again, this tornado warning is set to go until we go into the 7 a.m. hour. Our hope is that we will be able to start our 7 o'clock newscast as usual when it comes to getting you information, and that we'll hopefully be able to get out to our crews. We've got Madeline Nolan, Johnny Maffey that are out there right now trying to find damage that we've got reports of, monitoring flooding in many areas. Justin's been finding things on our traffic cameras that are not pretty by any means here to work through this morning. So the big story becomes flooding when we're not talking about severe weather. And taking a look again, if we're just waking up with us here, and you always dip in with us for our 7 o'clock newscast and enjoy waking up with us, we appreciate you. Here's how we're starting. You had a rough overnight depending upon where you were at. I'm going to show you one more time the last 6 hours, because if you are in, let's just say, Tullahoma, Winchester, making our way all the way through our portions of McMinnville, Crossville, the Cumberland Plateau, we're not seeing much of anything that happened overnight at all. This is the real-time radar for you here, and again, not a whole lot that we had to work with when it came to any rainfall. So a lot of us are waking up to a pretty easy start, warm, humid. Many of us have had a doozy of a night when it came to severe weather, potentially making a high impact to not just your real time when it happened, but we're watching for damage, and we're going to possibly be seeing quite a bit of it as we get up and get moving here throughout the course of this morning. The sun just came up a few minutes ago. People were just starting our days, and I'll tell you right now, if you think you have damage, but it's raining, or you hear thunder, or you see lightning, give yourself some time before you go out and assess it. And we do always ask for your photos of damage and for your pictures and videos. Don't take them if you're anywhere near a storm that has anything close to the word warning by it. It can wait. That can all wait till later. It's still going to be there. So don't just go out there to rush out there to attempt to just take that picture. We want them, but when you're safe later today.
Good advice, Greg. Thank you so much. And a quick reminder of where you can send us your content. So whether it's pictures or videos, you can go to fox17.com, click the drop-down menu, select Chime In. You can upload your content right there. You can also do it for free through our Fox 17 News app.
As we continue to watch the last few moments of this particular warning, we want to let you know we're going to have a fresh look at your traffic update coming up here in the next few moments. Also, a look at some of the damage from around town coming up here over the next few moments as well. Just want to round it out very quickly here with Greg as we finish up the last few moments of this particular warning.
Yeah, and we are getting some warning, or some word here that the warning is going to be allowed to expire here for us as we go to 7 o'clock. They're not going to reissue it for now. They've seen the same things that I have, that nothing has really progressed to a point of more concern. There was enough rotation to issue the warning, but nothing that has given us indication anything is on the ground. It has not been getting worse. So that's good news here. No word yet if they're going to put it back to a severe thunderstorm, just to keep our eyes on it. But it looks like at 7 o'clock we'll be able to kind of work through that. And just to reset the scene for us here, we had dozens of warnings overnight. There was at one point, I think, a time where we went from the Kentucky state line down to the Mississippi area, and we had tornado warnings almost the entire way through. Multiple of them were in Davidson County. Now, all those warnings don't mean that we necessarily had anything on the ground in all of them, but we've had damaging wind. We have had extremely large hail compared to what even we're used to, and we're used to some decent hail here. There have been reports of ping pong and golf ball size hail here across portions of the mid-state, and there were some areas in West Tennessee and Mississippi where they had tennis ball size hail overnight. So we have all been working through quite a bit. We'll continue to watch this broken line of storms, though. Still 2 severe thunderstorm warnings for large size hail and for some damaging wind up to 60 miles per hour. And the flooding really will become a major story later on this afternoon. We'll eventually turn off our severe weather chances here as we get into the next couple of hours. Still tornado watch until 8 o'clock this morning. And then this rain that has been consistent. Now, if we know all the warnings have been along the same line, that means all the heavy rainfall has as well. When we get to our 7 o'clock half hour, just about a minute from now, we'll make sure our red box goes away. We'll reset the scene for what you had overnight. We'll take a look at how much rain has already come down, how much more we're going to get throughout the course of today. And we're not done with severe weather yet. We have more potentially moving in later on this afternoon. So we're not even done, not even close to it. We're just going to kind of re-rack and reset things for you.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 7 o'clock on the dot. Thank you for joining us for Fox 17 News This Morning, where we are bringing you team coverage as we remain in a code red weather alert.
We've got Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey at a home with severe damage in Antioch. Wait till you see where he is. Plus, we've got Madeline Nolan, who's tracking some of the flooding around Davidson County.
And we continue to monitor all of the weather developments as well, whether we have watches or warnings in effect. You can guarantee we'll have you covered through all of it, live and local through 9 a.m.
Well, many of you probably heard that sound last night. If you didn't hear that one, you probably heard your phones going off alerting you about the severe weather that moved through Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee has already declared a state of emergency for several parts of the state.
And as we welcome you into Fox 17 News this morning, we are continuing our code red weather alert as those storms continue to push through our area. And then we know more weather over the next several days going to bring about more concerns. Also new this hour, in fact, just moments ago, we have confirmation from TEMA that we now have 3 weather-related deaths in Tennessee. Up until just moments ago, we had confirmation that 2 people had lost their lives as a result of these storms. We've just learned that number is up to 3, and we've got school districts across the mid-state that are closed.
Now, emergency management officials are asking people, if you can stay home, please do. Let's get to our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus. He's been tracking the storms all night. Greg, we want to know exactly what's happening right now on the radar.
The newest thing we just had canceled, which we knew was going to happen here just due to the signs we saw. Our tornado warning we had 5 minutes ago is gone. We're now just still monitoring the remnants of what was a system that was rotating a little bit here that is exiting